So here's the thing, and don't get mad, and that part I can't stress enough. That's a great shirt, by the way.
Next time on Death Battle.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Okay, I had that coming.
What the hell is wrong with you, you sick bastard?
Look, I was drinking.
Oh, what a shock.
Look, the short version is, this morning she made me eat her hair pie. No, it's not what you think. Stewie had some too. Stop punching me!
Look, Brian, I don't know what the hell happened between you two, but you better go upstairs and straighten it out right now. This is even worse than when you ate that bubblegum out of the garbage.
Okay, so unfortunately, the review to Ichigo vs. Yusuke is taking a little longer to get finished than I was originally anticipating. So while I'm working on that, I thought I would do a rant video and reaction to the latest Death Battle. Plus, I figure this is what you guys prefer to watch anyway, so I might as well give the people what they want. And oh boy, do we have a very special Death Battle to talk about this time. And by special, I mean a complete pile of fucking shit. Because, holy hell, what in the love of fuck did you do this time, Death Battle? I have been talking about this particular Death Battle with other people in the Versus community for days now, trying to hear all their reasons. And what's crazy about it is, I watched a reaction of not Ichigo versus Yusuke in Discord with a bunch of other guys, and they were losing their minds at this Death Battle, and I can't possibly fathom why. And the reason why I'm both excited and irritated at the same time about this particular Death Battle is because I believe this Death Battle encapsulates almost every single thing wrong with mirror matchups. It perfectly encapsulates everything I've ever said about why mirror matchups don't work, and I've been spending years explaining this to the community and to Death Battle, and once again, nobody seems to listen to me, which is quite unfortunate considering how many times I've been vindicated over the years on the things that I've said. But let's not put it off any longer. So, we have Cell versus Metal Sonic. Why? What the fuck is the point of this matchup? And I already know what this is because it's the same fucking thing as every other Death Battle. Oh, well, they're both robot thingies that can copy movesets, so have them fight. That's literally it. And that is whenever I ask people about why this Death Battle is a good idea, they always say, oh, well, you see, they can copy each other's movesets, and won't that be cool to see? No, that would actually be quite lame. Like, what is interesting about that? Oh, they're gonna copy each other's movesets? Like, what? So this takes the definition of mirror matchup to the most literal extent possible. The only way this could be worse is if Cell was also some kind of, like, robot animal thingy. I swear, at this point, you might as well have fucking Freddy Fazbear or Springtrap, whatever the fuck his name is, fight Metal Sonic. It would make about as much sense. And the main problem why this doesn't work is, once again, like I've said for years now, when you have a mirror matchup, one of two things is going to happen. Either one character is going to have a massive stat advantage, or the character is going to have some kind of immunity and or resistance, so it'll usually come down to a battle of stats. And that is exactly what we have here, because first problem right here, people want to tell me like, oh, well, Cell and Metal Sonic, they'll copy each other. Well, here's a problem with that. If you take one look at Metal Sonic's abilities, and I will leave a list of Metal Sonic's abilities right here, which, by the way, it's worth noting that Metal Sonic's list of abilities is so long, it not only maxed out the character limit on Discord, but I can't even fit it on a single screen. I had to take multiple screenshots, and I still couldn't get all of his abilities. But I did a little bit of digging, and I found out that Metal Sonic is literally immune to being analyzed and copied. You can't do it. So that already completely ruins your little gimmick. Not that it was a solid gimmick to begin with. And meanwhile, Metal Sonic over here can analyze somebody one time and automatically gain access to their entire moveset. Not that it matters, considering that any possible ability you can think of, Metal Sonic seems to have. Everything from resistance to conceptual existence erasure on a 6th dimensional level, to cartoon force, to all manner of different ridiculous powers. You name it, this guy has it. And he has immunities to just about everything you can think of. And the cosmology and power of the Sonic verse is way more powerful than anything within the Dragon Ball Z verse. So once again, why do people think that this is a good idea? I don't freaking understand. And I always hate it when I have to listen to people say like, oh, well, I don't mind if it's a stomp matchup because I personally like stomp matchups. Let me tell you why matches are a bad idea. Because the whole point of Death Battle is this whole question of who would win in a fight. And you have Death Battle that likes to have all this like secrecy of, oh, who's going to be on Death Battle? Who's going to win? Well, it feels like as Death Battle goes along, they just kind of throw that out the fucking window. Because I talk about this with the new Death Battle, but Death Battle literally made no effort whatsoever to hide the fact that Ichigo was going to win. They didn't even bother. So what was the fucking point? There was no tension. It was just literally like, okay, I already know Ichigo's gonna win, so just show me Ichigo winning. And the animation wasn't even good enough to get me excited or pumped, so who cared? It's literally just a matter of like, okay, I already know Ichigo's gonna win, what's the next Death Battle? That's it. Cell is completely outmatched here. He has no chance in hell. I don't care how much you highball Cell, he's fucked. There's not a damn fucking thing that he can do to Metal Sonic. Because not only does Metal Sonic seemingly have every ability in existence, including plot and law manipulation, as well as plot and law erasure, which, if you don't know, are abilities that are usually commonly held by characters like, I don't know, Bugs fucking Bunny. But no, this is just totally a good idea. There's nothing stupid about this at all, whatsoever. Like, this, if you are a fan of Cell, and you like this matchup, do not tell me that you are a fan of Cell, because you have to have a special kind of hatred for Cell as a character, or hatred for Dragon Ball Z to do something like this. The level of disrespect here is like nothing I've ever seen before. The matchup that I literally wrote for Blood Royale, specifically to kill a certain anime character that I did not like, does not have this level of disrespect. And that is a matchup that I wrote purely for the purposes of killing a character that I've had a vendetta against for years. But this is worse. This is literally Homelander versus Omni-Man levels of disrespect. I don't understand this. What is the point of this matchup? And don't tell me, oh, well, it'll be a good fight. Like, no amount of pretty animation, because I know everybody keeps saying, but Devil's Artemis is going to animate it, and it's going to be his last Death Battle, because I guess apparently people are bullying him off the internet or something like that. Which, by the way, if you are somebody in the power scaling versus community and you're going around bullying animators or members of the Death Battle crew, can you stop fucking doing that? You're a piece of shit and you make the community look bad when you do that. In fact, get the fuck out of this community if you are one of these people, because you don't belong here. Number two, okay, so Devil's Artemis is doing this. What the, who cares? Like, oh, so because Devil's Artemis, this is his personal idea that he supposedly wanted to do, so just because Devil's Artemis wants to do it, that automatically makes it good, right? Like, no. And it's clear to me that Devil's Artemis should have done his research before suggesting this matchup, because It's ridiculous. How are you supposed to have a fight between these two characters when the fight is fundamentally broken? Metal Sonic has more abilities, he's stronger, he's faster. There's not a damn fucking thing Cell can do to him. And there's no interesting gimmick here when the gimmick is based on, oh, well, the characters are going to copy each other. How is that not the most literal interpretation of a mirror matchup? That's literally what I've heard people say. This matchup fucking sucks, okay? I am so sick and tired of having to explain over and over and over and over again why these matchups suck. Is it that hard to come up with a creative idea? Of all the opponents who could have had Cell fight, why Metal Sonic? Like, first off, here's another problem with this bullshit-ass fucking matchup. How many times are we going to see Dragon Ball Z and Sonic on Death Battle? How many times now? What is this, like the 30 billionth fucking time that Dragon Ball Z has shown up? How many times has fucking Sonic character show up? We've done like literally every Sonic character at this point. Half expect them to do what? Are we gonna do Cream the Rabbit next? How many more times? And not only that, but Metal Sonic has already shown up on Death Battle 3 fucking times already. He was in the Eggman versus Dr. Wily one. He was in Bowser versus Eggman. He already fought Zero from Mega Man, which, by the way, I forgot that even fucking happened. Goes to show how memorable that episode was. But we've already seen this character 3 times. We've already seen Dragon Ball Z characters show up who knows how many times. Now, sure, we haven't seen Cell yet, but what the fuck took you so long to do Cell? Maybe instead of doing bullshit matchups like Hercule Satan, maybe you should have done fucking Cell instead of wasting our fucking time with other dog shit matchups. I am willing to bet if I did a tally of all the death battles that have ever happened, I guarantee you most of the matchups that we have seen have involved Dragon Ball characters, Sonic characters, Marvel characters, and DC characters would take up the vast majority of the episodes. People are burnt out. People want to see other verses. People want to see other characters. And if this was the very first time we ever saw Metal Sonic, maybe. But we have seen Metal Sonic before. Again, 3 times. This is going to be his 4th appearance on Death Battle. And even if you want to say that, oh, well, the Dr. Wily and the Bowser episode doesn't count because it didn't focus on Metal Sonic, even though the Dr. Wily one literally ended with Metal Sonic as the victor in some weird way. So, yeah, explain that one to me. But again, how are we ever going to get to see other universes show up if we're constantly going to keep recycling the same universes over and over and over again? Are we just going to keep doing Dragon Ball Z and Sonic until we just run out of characters? Because that's what it feels like at this point. And sure, if you are a Cell fan, I could maybe understand because it took so long for them to get to Cell. I would maybe understand your annoyance, especially when you consider it made almost no sense for them to take so long to do Cell, when you consider that unlike characters like Vegeta, Frieza, Goku, Cell isn't constantly getting new forms like those characters are. But even so, and another thing I keep harping on is, why is it that every death battle has to be the same? It must be based on surface level similarities rather than legit interesting connections. Maybe instead of looking for cheap surface level similarities, maybe you should look for thematic connections or things that connect the two universes together rather than saying like, oh, well, they're both robots that were designed to be the perfect creation or some junk like that, because that'll be interesting. These characters will be able to play off of each other so well because they have the same abilities. No, it's just so boring when that's every single matchup. And again, even if this was Devil's Artemis's perfect, like, dream match or whatever he wanted to do, Why didn't he just do that on his own channel where he could just make up whatever he wants? Because on Death Battle, he's going to be constrained by whatever bullfuck script Death Battle gives to him. And he's also going to have to go off of the power scale. So he's not going to be able to portray an honest fight between these two, because let me show you exactly how this fight would play out if you played it out in a realistic way.
I don't care what color your belt is, you're a child and I am stronger than you.
Seriously, that is exactly what would happen if these two fought each other and you were realistic about it and didn't just make shit up or try to lowball the characters to make them seem way more fair than they actually are. If Cell tried to fight Metal Sonic, he wouldn't be able to do anything. Either Metal Sonic would dodge all of his attacks with no effort, or Metal Sonic would just no-sell all of Cell's attacks because none of them would pose any threat to him whatsoever. And there's nothing in Cell's arsenal that can injure Metal Sonic, so what's the point? Somebody tell me, what is fun about watching Metal Sonic step on a bug? Because that's exactly what this is. What is fun about that? Like, think back to One Punch Man, for example. Think back to Saitama and Saitama's apathy and boredom, because he is so strong that everything he hits dies in one hit. Pretty much every fight with Saitama, with the exception of one, is always a stomp fight where he knows he's going to win. And the whole point is how boring that all is, and how it just sucks the joy out of his life. It sucks the excitement out of his life. It's hard to get excited when you're basically playing on God mode. And it's hard to be excited about any kind of fight, no matter what it is, if you already know that one of the characters is in no danger whatsoever. There's no stakes, no tension, no surprises, nothing. And when you have these stomp matches, all it does is just destroy your suspension of disbelief when you know that the character should be dead in 2.5 seconds. And just because there are outlier examples of making a stomp matchup kind of work, like Homelander versus Omni-Man, that is an outlier. That should not be the norm. We should not be trying to make every fucking death battle a stomp match, because it gets boring. It gets old after a while. Come up with something new. Come up with something different. I don't understand, why is that so hard? I literally made a video explaining 4 simple steps that you can follow to make a good death battle matchup, and if you follow all these steps, at the very worst, you'll have a decent idea. Like, why is it so difficult? And honestly, it's just laziness, if you ask me. It shows an immense lack of creativity when people do this. Is there any silver lining to this death battle? Sure, there's one silver lining. I get good content out of it. Because as you all know, whenever Death Battle comes up with these really bad ideas, I'm always able to get good content out of it, because people love watching me rip Death Battle a new one. But outside of that, this is just awful. And seriously, here's another element about this matchup that sucks. We all know how prideful and insecure the DBZ fans are. They legit think that DBZ is the most powerful universe of all time, and whenever you say that your character can defeat Dragon Ball Z, they take it personally. So, the Dragon Ball fans are still butthurt about Goku versus Superman and every other battle that a DBZ character has ever lost. And now you want to risk starting a flame war between the DBZ and the Sonic fans. Yeah, I see that going over well. The last thing we need is the DBZ fans even more unhinged than they already are. Like, there are already stories of Dragon Ball Z fans harassing Death Battle and driving them insane, to the point where I can remember when they did Goku vs. Superman 2 at the SGC convention, there was this little Q&A. If I can ever find a clip of it, I'll post it on the channel, but I can remember Chad James literally had to stop Ben Singer from crashing out because of a Dragon Ball Z fan that kept pushing his buttons and pushing his buttons. And you can see, if you read the body language, Chad had to like put his hands on Ben Singer's shoulder and tell him like, hey dude, calm down, it's not worth it, don't go off. And anybody who has spent enough time in the power scaling community knows how much of a pain in the ass the Dragon Ball Z fans are. That's another reason why I'm getting sick and tired of Dragon Ball Z showing up. Please, just let this be the last Sonic or Dragon Ball Z matchup. Please. I am so sick and tired of Dragon Ball Z. I am burnt the fuck out. A lot of people are, just like with the DC versus Marvel thing. I'm burnt out on this. I would have rather Cell fought somebody else or just not fight at all. And just because Devil's Artemis is animating it doesn't automatically guarantee it's going to be good, because I've said this before, pretty animation can only hide so much when everything else does not work. And this is already shaping up to be a really bad season of Death Battle, because we start out with Ichigo versus Yusuke, and now we got this. We haven't even gotten to Light versus Columbo yet. We haven't even gotten to crap like Aang versus the Traveler. A Death Battle so bad that it literally cost Death Battle $5 grand. Death Battle literally lost $5,000 because of Aang versus the Traveler. I'm not even making that one up. That actually happened. So, yeah, again, this just goes along with my theory that Leah must be purposefully trying to fill this season with as many bad ideas as possible, so people will think, you know, maybe Light versus Columbo is not that bad. But that's just kind of my thoughts. I have a whole lot more to say about it, and I will cover this in the later prediction video and whatnot. But let me know what you think of Cell versus Metal Sonic. Do you think this matchup is actually good? And if so, please try to explain to me why this matchup is good, because I'm losing my mind over here trying to make sense of it. And I'll see you guys around next time.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Sometimes I feel a voice in my head.